a couple months ago, I wanted to have like this whole big, elaborate, backdrop of facts about slavery and the involvement of Africans during the slave trade, because this was around the time that the Woman King came out, and there were just some social media people, expressing their disdain for certain things that they put up there. And I was like, relax, okay, fall back. Because one criticism was about the fact that this movie is talking about a group of people who were involved in the slave trade. And unfortunately, there were a lot of African nations, tribes at the time, who were involved in the slave trade. The Dahomey was just one of them. There were other people in Benin who also participated in it. Some people from Tanzania, Nigeria, plenty of places. So now they're reconciling all of that as far as like what their involvement was, if they feel any type of way about it, if they don't feel any type of way about it. But it's a long history of things. The slave trade went on for centuries. It would be hard pressed to believe that there weren't tribes in Africa who were participating in the slave trade, to be honest, because during wars, they would take prisoners and they would sell the prisoners. And this is not something that's, only regulated to Africa. I mean, this happens in war in general. So there it is, right? But the main thing that I guess I want to express is that, and I might have said it before, but history is not pretty. You know, this is what we do to each other. You don't like how history is, then we can't do anything about that, but we can just focus on making our future that much better, because we can learn from our mistakes. We can learn from our history. You don't like selling, black and brown people for profit? Then stop it. I don't entirely see that happening, So are we really upset because of what happened with them? Are we glorifying it, or are we just having an accurate account of what's been going on for hundreds and thousands of years? So, you don't like it, can't fix it. Let's just move forward. Let's just make sure that we're not continuing that cycle of, selling our own people for profit and thinking that we're going to be the ones to come up in the end. Because if history's taught us nothing, it's that, we sell ourselves for profit and we done sold our soul to the devil. So there's no real benefit a lot of the time. So then there's that. But with all that being said, I feel like one of the things that I wanted to make very, very clear, and I hope that it is the fact that we need to learn from our history, is the fact that history doesn't have to repeat itself over and over and over again. One of the plots in my book is that this young woman has come into a place that has been stricken by civil war that she had nothing to do with, but now she has to be one of the proponents for change. And so even though it takes place in outer space and it seems like a far off world and a far off adventure, what I want to really, land at home with you guys is that we all have choices to make for ourselves and for our people. We don't always know what choices are going to be the right ones. We can just try our best. But if we don't know our history, that's really what affects our ability to do the right thing and to make the change. Those who don't know their history are doomed to repeat it. And regardless of what world we're in, that's the message that I want to convey. And I hope that if you have not gotten the book, that you do, and that that's part of the message that you receive.